Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be doing what do I want to see in the F1 2022 game. The F1 22 game actually, that's what it's called. With EA bringing this money, they have a budget. They can open their game to so much more. So these are what I want to see. I've broken them down into 3 categories: general game, my team, and customization. So let's start off with general game. So first of all, this is a big thing in most racing games. Like in other games like Minecraft, Fortnite, all of those, it's cross-platform. You can play amongst like if I have a PlayStation and my friend has a PC, we can play together. And not only for league racing, also for the co-op career mode. I think that make a big difference to the actual game. It make it more fun just because you don't want to buy, like let's say I have a PC, right? Okay, right now I don't, but let's say I have my PC, and my friend has a new PlayStation 5. I don't want to spend $500 to get the PlayStation 5 just so I can play with him. Make it cross-platform because most games now in 2022 are cross-platform. It's just racing games need to make that a key part of what they're doing. Now next is classic cars and tracks. So before we used to have these classic cars, it was really fun racing them. Just you get the feel of an older car. It's fun to make videos on them also. Just it's a very cool idea. And if we had classic tracks like the old Imola or the old Silverstone, the old Germany, Nürburgring, Hockenheim, or even these new ones like Valencia, like newer older tracks, like you get what I mean, like Valencia, Hockenheim, Nürburgring, Imola's in the game. Malaysia, all these, like you might like let's say you have F1 2021, 2022. You don't want to buy F1 like 2009 just to get those classic cars and those classic games. Like for the classic cars, you can even put a 2015 car, still be classic because we are now in a new era of Formula One. So we should be able to get older generations of cars just to match up with the tracks as well. And imagine like racing 2010 Red Bull at like Imola maybe, or a Michael Schumacher car at like a 2000s car or something like that at one of these new tracks like Saudi Arabia. It'd just be fun. You can have endless varieties of stuff. Next we have the special car liveries. So they did try implement this with the Japanese Red Bull livery, but like they didn't do the McLaren Golf livery. Like so many people would have liked to see that, hands down. They could have made that livery and so many people would be happy. It'd just be a big thing. So if teams actually do that, like in 2019, Mercedes did a special livery for their for Hockenheim. They didn't add that. 2020, Ferrari did a special livery for the 1000 Grand Prix. They didn't do that. All of these, like if they added them into the game, like let's say this year, if Aston Martin does a new livery or like a one-off livery, I like to see that in the game, not only for that little bit of time, but as well like in Podium Pass, like you can just get it, because I would love to see people racing on like crazy liveries without modding it. Like on consoles, you can't mod anything. Maybe also a VR mode, so where you can get a VR headset and you can just race with that because it's more immersion, it's more realistic as well. Next is pit lane starts. If they added the pit lane starts, like if you, let's say, you got a grid penalty and you don't want to start at the back of the grid and you maybe change your engine, you should be able to be allowed to do a pit lane start. Or you've qualified P10 or P11, but because you need a new engine or something, you can put one in and break parc fermé rules and get that pit lane start. So you can have a safe start before everybody else goes, and then you go. The next one is a life mode. So it's kind of like a breaking point and the F1 2019 game kind of thing. But I don't want to only be in F1, F2. Maybe make it like you start off in school and you have like problem, like you're getting beat up by a bully or something like that, and then you go into karting, you progress from karting, you maybe get signed by a junior team or junior academy, or maybe you have lots of money, or there's some way that you make it into F3, you do F3 really well, you do F2 really well, and you make it into Formula 1, starting at a back-end team, making your way with your debut season into high-end teams actually. Like that could be an option, like if you just want to start, if you want to do this whole life mode, or if you just want to start from F1, could be like a driver move kind of thing, like a choice that you can make. Another thing is, another point is you shouldn't on consoles have to pay, like for PlayStation, to play with another person, like a co-op career mode. You have to have PlayStation Plus. Whereas on PC, you don't have to have that. You can just play with anybody. I think that would help a lot if you could play with more people, because it opens, more people would more likely to get that game just so they can play with their friends. And with it being crossplay, it's just easier for you, like you playing on PS, want to play a co-op career mode with someone on PC, but you don't have PlayStation Plus. They obviously don't need anything, so there shouldn't be any need for the PlayStation Plus to play with other people in co-op career mode. That's it for the general game, so let's move on to my team. For my team, I want to talk about winter testing. With this new era of Formula 1 and with the new regulations and everything, you should be able to test your car just before actually going into the season. You get some practice in the season, like in MotoGP. You can select stuff, you can upgrade stuff during that time. You can just have a testing time just so you can test your car before your first session in F1. You should be able to talk back to your team. So they have the talking back to Jeff, but when they send emails, you should be able to, maybe they have a custom reply, thank you, I'll try to do this, or how Gmail have your replies, short replies. You should be able to do that, because imagine Jeff is our upgrades failed or something, and you're in your My Team career. Gonna be oh no, maybe we can reschedule that, just so you don't have to go to that menu, reschedule it, book it for rushing, and it's just better. Even in your car, if you wanna be you wanna talk to tell your teammate, let me through, like that, you should be able to talk to Jeff, which would then pass on the message. You should be able to actually look at and customize your teammate's strategy, just because there's been times when your teammate has done a 3-stop or you've done a 1-stop, and you're just wondering for one bit of damage on your front wing that's not costing anything, because the AI are programmed like that. Jeff should tell you your teammate's got a bit of damage, what do you want us to do? and you can be like, tell him to conserve, tell him to try push and then pit him, tell him to just carry on with the race, or like even if their strategy like hard to medium to soft, you can just customize there, like be like, no, we don't want to do that. We're gonna go from hards to mediums because mediums can run the whole length of the race. You should also have a prize giving, because like when you win a championship, when you've put in all that work to actually win that championship, you don't want to just be like, wow, you won. Like Crofty saying a few words, you're doing a few donuts, you go into that room where you thank your team and everything. But you want to have that like you want to show people like, I won the championship. Like you can, like they have your trophy, but it just comes through your emails. Like make a whole cutscene of you actually winning the world championship. I think that'd be really, really, really cool. Another thing is cost cap. With the new era, every team needs to have a cost cap. Like last year we had that something million, but every team needs to have it, because that was just unfair. We had to run on a budget while all of the other teams could spend as much money as they wanted. You should also be able to leave your team. So if you've had enough of racing for your own team, or you get an offer from a much better team, like in season 3 or something, Mercedes are dominating, your team isn't really, they're at the back end, and you get an offer from Mercedes for joining them, then it should either, like say you've gone bankrupt or something, so you leave, so you moved to Mercedes, or like you should like just so you can still be there, but you don't want to control your whole team and everything. And with that, like the opposite is, you should be able to make your team midway through a career. So like for example, if you like just did, if you were racing, then like for Mercedes, then midway, if you've had enough of it, you have enough money, you want to create your own F1 team, then you should be able to do it. There's no reason why you can't. You have enough money, you're probably going to get your sponsors, you can buy a second driver, everything's there. You can hire from another team. Yeah, there should also be more, like when you start off with your game, let's say Pierre Gasly might want to leave at the end, like might need a new seat, he's not getting anything. So when you start off with your own team, you shouldn't just be limited to your F2 drivers. You should also have your range of your F1 driver, just, and you can manage your cost cap then that way. So like if let's say Gasly has he's not having too well of a season at Red Bull, he can join your team midway through the season or at the start of the season, because he doesn't have his contract at that time, so he can join your team. So you're not limited to being a bad F2 driver when you start. You can actually get some points when you start. Actually be able to fight with your car with another driver who's supporting you to actually move on. That's it for the my team. So let's move on to customization. So for customization, there's not a lot, but there should be definitely more customization. We are very limited to the customization we have right now, just being able to choose your generic stickers and stuff. Like what if you could make your own suit, you could make your own helmet, like designs and stickers and stuff that you can design yourself, not just having your generic ones or your color scheme that you have at that time. Like you should be able to actually be able you should be able to like make your own stickers. And even if it's not in the game, like they could make a web thing, like a website where you create it and then you import it to your team. And this shouldn't be only for PC, this should also be available for consoles and stuff, because they have very little customization. They can't do mods, and Codemasters doesn't want mods. Well, they don't support mods that well. So that'd be so nice if they actually did add that. You should also be like able to make your own tracks. Like, imagine making your track like in Forza or in Trackmania, where you're allowed to make your own track, and then imagine racing a F1 2022 car at one of your tracks that you've built yourself, and that would go in like there would be your options of your tracks, and you should do classic tracks, and then on your tracks, like could be a whole menu of your tracks. And that's really it. You should be able to make custom liveries, I guess, but you do that anyway. But just more of the customization, I think. That is what Codemasters and EA really need to work on. They need more customization. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do agree with these, let me know in the comments. If you don't agree with these, also let me know in the comments. What do you think I missed out that I think that you think needs to be added into this list of things that they need to add? And not even in this game, like in the next few games, like 2022, 2023, 2024. In these, I think they have a lot of work to do, EA and Codemasters, to make this game more enjoyable, more fun, and just played more, I guess, more universal. Anyway guys, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, and goodbye.